Thanks a lot to everybody here. Namaste to all of you. Thanks to new-acropolis, to the National Art Gallery. It's really a pleasure to come back, not just to come to India, not just to come to Mumbai, to come back to Mumbai. It's, for me, it's a city of miracles, Mumbai. I know that in India there is always miracles and everything is possible in India. But even what you think impossible elsewhere, here it can be. And thank you to Sivan, which is the director of the Colaba Center, which is responsible also for this specific event. So, I will continue, but in a different way, what Yaron has begun. He talked about symbols. Of course, I will talk about symbol. It is the main subject of our evening. But I will talk about photography and how photography can help us to understand, to perceive the message of symbol, the true meaning of symbol. In fact, we shall talk about photography, art, symbol, and we shall see how the three of them are working together. So, to make an introduction, a quick introduction, symbol, I will say, is a gate. Yaron said that symbol is a bridge. It is right. Symbol is the bridge between invisible and visible, between what would call the archetypes, some universal, always present concept that we cannot see, that does not belong to the rupa, to the visible, but to the arupa. We cannot touch them, we cannot see them, we cannot hear them. And symbol is something, not just a visual symbol, even if today we are talking mostly about visual symbols. Symbols is something that will help us in the visible, in this world of the Maya, in this world of illusion, to perceive what is behind the veil, behind the illusion, the invisible. If we're talking about photography, it's already, you can imagine, a big challenge, because the camera is something that it used to capture something visible. But as a philosophical photographer, or if I want to perform my work, I gave it a name very specific. It's not photography, it's not philosophy, it is philosophy. Photosophy. So, how to take a picture of the invisible, of the philosophy, of the Sophia, the wisdom that Yaron talked about, and through the camera make it visible so everyone can see it. And through the visible can touch the invisible. It seems crazy, but if there is in a photography, in an image, nothing more than the visible, than what the biological organic eyes can see, so what? I mean, I'm not making photos for Instagram. I have nothing against people who are working with Instagram. I also have a channel Instagram, but should be more, should be some depth. And when we talk about those archetypes, some concept, like I said, universal, permanent concept. We can talk about justice. We can talk about goodness. We can talk about balance, harmony. But we are talking also about beauty. We are in the National Gallery of Art. Art is beauty. And beauty is one of the characteristics of those archetypes, one face of the archetypes. In reality, if it is real beauty, not personal beauty. I mean, not what I like, because I can like something, I can dislike something, it's totally subjective. If I like something, it doesn't mean that it is really beautiful. Look at, I don't say look at modern art, but look at what people like today in the world. Not everything that they say, I like it, is beautiful. Some people like things that, well, are not really the manifestation of an archetype. But when it is objective and not subjective, when it comes not from what I like, which is an opinion, which is linked to my personality, to my mask. You know, the name persona in Latin means mask. The personality is not us, it is our mask, our subjectivity. Not talking about the COVID mask that from today I saw in the newspaper. It's not mandatory anymore in the plane, so I can come back in a few days without mask in the plane. Not like when I arrived before yesterday. So that's great. But I'm talking about another mask. I'm talking about all what is subjective in us, what makes us different one from the other one. I am different from Yaron, from Sivan, from David, and every one of us is different from the other one. We have different personalities. That's good, that's great, that's our way to manifest ourselves in the world. But we share the same dharma, we belong to the same humanity. There is a unity. We have the same destiny at the end. Some of us may arrive sooner, before, others will arrive later. It doesn't matter. Everyone has his own pace, its own rhythm. It's not a problem, it's not a race. We are one in humanity. Like he said, there is the ocean and the drop. We are the same one ocean. So, symbols allow us to go from subjectivity, temporary, visible, to the permanent, invisible. The quality of the archetype, the real beauty, not what I like, but what is beautiful. And the wonder and the importance of this is that if I can perceive what is real beauty, even if my personality does not like it, it may be that my personality was not educated to like the beauty. But if I can touch the real beauty, because the archetype is one, and beauty, like goodness, like justice, all those things are different aspects of the one. When I touch beauty, I touch truth. When I touch truth, I touch goodness. When I touch goodness, I touch all the qualities of the archetypes. I touch the unity. I understand the unity. I feel that I belong to life because life is one. I belong to humanity. This is the greatness of art. This is why art is so important, matters so much. But we have to dare, that's the problem. I prepared something, but I always talk about something else. We said 1 hour and 40 minutes, right? Okay, just to be sure. So where did I put this? Here. So we have, I improvise a little bit, it's not a problem. We need to dare to go from subject. I didn't touch nothing. You did it? No, because I was preparing myself and magically it appeared. I said, wow, I have the power of the will, you know, I wanted to, but before I did it, boom, it appears. Fantastic. Don't do it again. So, but you can move this, I don't know how I can move the arrow. Ambush, yeah, thank you. Okay. Now, and this it is possible to, no, yeah, not possible? Okay. Now, leave it because sometimes it's not perfect, but it works. And it's okay. It's okay. You want to make it perfect, you make it worse. So leave it like this. Just don't see it. It's just here that there's something important. He's on a stone. So you don't see the stone because the stone is just, okay, but it doesn't matter. What I want to illustrate with this is a photography I took in the city of Akko, which is Saint John of Acre in English, something like this, in Israel. And this guy is jumping. It's no Photoshop, okay? I don't have Photoshop. This guy is jumping in the sea. He will fall not here, where there is the stone, but 2-3 meters after, where is really depth. But anyway, you have to dare. You have to dare to do this. You know, even if you know that it's okay, there is no stone, it demands a little courage, no? Even if you did it, I believe, you need courage. And you need courage to follow this path of beauty, this path of art, this path of philosophy, because it's not obvious. Because the personality will always be against this. Why? You know, human being is like a double nature. We have this visible part of us. The personality is the visible. Yaron talk about manas. I think everybody understands in manas, the mind. So we have the physical body, the shtula, the energy, the prana, the sentiment, the linga, the intellect, the kama manas. All of this is our way to act, to live. So we have our physical personality, our mask, our subjectivity, and the subjectivity is temporary because the personality will die in a moment. So when we identify with our personality, we know that our time in life is limited. So our goal is to get now the result, because I don't have all the time in the world. But if we identify with our individuality, indivisible, inner self, something which is linked more to the arupa, okay, to the archetype. So we have all the time in the world because the soul will reincarnate again and again and again, every time with another personality. But it's not limited in time. So my goal is different. My goal is not to have now the result, but my goal is just to progress one step after the other one. I have all the time. I can work with time. I'm not afraid of time. And age is not approaching the death. Age is gaining in maturity, in experience. So if you make this switch, you will be able to jump easier. You will be able, because it will be easier to dare, to have more courage. So I'll go a little bit quicker. What is art? Again, archetype. You have the archetype, you have the work of art, the manifestation, the photo, and in the middle you have something else. The artist is in the middle between the archetype and the work of art. And the artist is like the channel, the instrument, the medium. What I wanted to see, this is about, I call this meditation at the lake. I took this photo in Switzerland, in Geneva. It's the Lake of Geneva, the Lehmann Lake. It's about, you know, I think I will change the name. I will say, call this sit, breathe, be calm, take a moment. Okay, it's a good name for this photo. So you have to sit, you have to breathe, you have to calm, and to stop this craziness of now getting quickly the result. Like you have in all the social networks, you know, it's going quick. You don't have the time to touch even the depth of life. You can pass the other one? Yeah. So you need to be always an artist. I like this one very much. I took it in Ireland, in Dublin. Obviously, the guy was writing a poem, you know, long thing in the street, in the pavement. But the way I took the photo with the angle You can see always only this, always an artist. You don't know what was the rest of the phrase, but it has also its meaning, and it's quite something that we will find usually in symbols also. That in their own said this, you have different levels of interpretations of the symbols. Anyway, the archetype is the concept. The artist is the channel if he is able to work with his individuality more than his personality. This is the challenge of the artist. This is the way we become artists. I believe that every human being, each human being can do this. The problem is that not everybody do this. It's not only about technique. You can learn the technique, but you have to also to learn to be transparent, to be an artist. Because putting the mask aside, the personality aside, is about transparency. We need to be transparent. The mask must be transparent. Then you can see in the Maya, in the daily life, in the visible world, you can perceive. And it is about photo. You can even see the invisible. That's the way photography becomes art. Now, what is the kind of photography which allows this? I myself, in my subjectivity, because of course I am also subjective, I have my personality, I believe more in street photography. It is what I do. But I want to explain just 1 minute why street photography and, for example, not production in studio, like some fine art photography that you can do in studio. Because if you are in the studio, you decide with your subjectivity which light, what's the scene, where are the people, which color you want to do, what is the movement. So you arrange everything with your personality. So it's your production, but it's your personal production. It's not a universal production. But when you are in the street, you cannot arrange anything. You cannot even know where will be the great photography, because it's not written in advance, or even if it is written in advance, you don't know. You just don't know it. So you just walk the street, and you have to be transparent. You need to put the mental in white, totally in white, and perceive. Yaron said this also, to perceive, to let the great photography arrive to you, to let the great photography be offered to you. If you search for something, you will never find it. Because if you search for something, you have already an idea. So you are looking for this idea. But there is a lot of many things interesting in the street, but you don't see it because you are focusing on this idea. I am looking for this I don't see. So you don't pay attention to everything. But when you don't look for anything, this arrived, and say, oh, there is something here. I didn't think about it, but now I see it. Because you open your mind to everything, to every possibility, to every option, to every gift of life. And that's what really matters. So, a little bit more about art, to understand the art. I said that art is the presence of the beauty in the, I forgot some photos. You can pass another one? Yes. This is about less manipulation of reality. When I say that you find things in the street, in daily life, that you cannot imagine. This is in Japan, in Tokyo, where you have people waiting in calm. They stand, calm, breathe, during 5, 10, 15 minutes until the train arrives in silence. It's called, in Korea, you have the same. They call this nunchi. Nunchi is harmony in the collectivity. So we have this silence. So you won't find something like this in Mumbai or anywhere in India, I think. But it exists in the street. So if you have your ID, you know. You can pass the other one, Ambush. Thank you. And this is, for example, this is in Guatemala, in Mesoamerica. You have some pattern like this. You know, can you imagine that you will find those two guys with more or less the same clothes, the same hat, the same, yes. And here, the two women with the same clothes, You know, it's not something that you say, okay, I'm going today on the street, I want to find this. You can't. You need to be open. And I was in a car, and the car is passing, and this is suddenly on the side, and click, take the camera, and you take the photo. And after you look at the camera, what you took, and you recognize if what you took was good or not good. But if you put your mind before and say, is it right? Is it not right? Is it interesting? It is not interesting. Maybe it is interesting. The bus is already 1 kilometer after, so you cannot take it. So you need to have the mind in white. So art, presence of the beauty in the invisible. And Maya, like I said, this world of Maya, 22 minutes, okay. This world of Maya is the rupa, is the visible, is the changement. Already? I didn't tell you, huh? No, keep it. Now I want to tell you to put it, so it's okay. Keep it. We shall talk after the... Okay, so in the Maya, everything is passing, on your shoulders or over your shoulders, just like this. This is in a museum in Paris. The museum is called the Museum Guimet. It's a museum of ancient Asian culture. But not here. This is in the lobby of the museum. This guy is reading, and you have those dancing figures over the shoulders. And this is the Maya. You think that you are in the stability. You think that your life is on the ground with stability, but it's a constant movement. Everything is moving. Everything is changing all the time. You cannot stop this movement. Only in the world of the invisible, arupa, archetypes, you have stability, you have unity. Ambush, please, the other one. And this is the permanent. This is another museum. This is the British Museum in London. I call this an encounter with the archetype. And it is really this, encounter with the archetypes, this is the goddess Sekhmet from ancient Egypt. And you have a kind of dialogue between two women, and from the goddess and four statues of the same goddess. I don't know exactly what they are talking, because I believe that they are talking in the arupa plane of the invisible. So I cannot hear, the word that they say. But it's like an illustration of those two planes, rupa and arupa. Don't move it yet. And beauty is permanent. Now, yes, this. Let's see if some of you know where it is. Yes, it's the bus stop. But where is the bus stop? Bombay. Where in Bombay? I don't know. Maybe I don't know the name. It's anyway just in front of here. Yeah. It's 50 meters from here, from the National Gallery, but in space. In time, it's 5 years ago. So if you go now, you won't find this girl, outside, because I believe she's not there now. But it's the hidden beauty, because this is, it's all. It's not really beauty, the archetype of beautiful, but here you have like a flower in the middle of I don't know what, even in black and white. So I call this the girl in pink because she had pink color, like you can see, the dress. But it's like beauty hidden somewhere, and even in the most unbeautiful place, you can find the beauty. So this is what should be, I think, the function of art and the goal of art to reveal this beauty. And again, through beauty, justice, harmony, etc., all the rest. Don't move it. Don't move the photo now, okay? Don't move it. So, this is art. The artist. The artist is the bridge. The artist is the bridge between two shores, two planes, two realms. Spiritual, metaphysical, invisible, arupa, and physical, concrete, material, rupa. Permanent, impermanent. This is the artist. He makes the link, and he shows the link with his production. Now, about photography, I will quote you a quote of somebody said, I don't know who said this, but I love it. A good photographer, what is a good photographer? A good photographer recognizes the moment of equilibrium. You know, you go to the street, 1 second after. You have an equilibrium, you need 1 second to take the camera to clack. That's a good photographer. The great photographer, now you can change the phone. Yeah, I will explain this. The great photographer recognizes the moment at the time it occurs. Not before, not after, at the same time it occurs. This is in Bangalore. I was it is inside the flower market, like you can see. And I call this to have or not to have. Not to be or not to be, but to have or not to have. Why? You see this guy, okay, he has a lot of material things. He has a lot of flowers, and also here, and he has money in his hand. And here, you have this second guy, he has nothing. I don't know if he does not have nothing to sell or if already sell it. It does not matter. The fact is that for the photo, he does not have nothing. He does not have money. And even the light, he does not have light. This one has light. But this is in the material realm. So if you look upstairs, here on the wall, you have only invoices, bills and invoices. So it's empty up and full down. Here you have all the icons and the representations of the God. So in the archetype or in the spiritual realm, it's full, but here is empty. So you have full and empty. It's like a cross like this. But this, I took 2 photos. This is the first one. I was walking like this. I feel there is something interesting. I didn't see this. I really didn't see this. I just feel something in the tension, something in the contrast, something in the geometry, you know. And you with the camera, clack, and you took it. And I will explain, no, that's technical. I will not explain how I do to take, because I use the camera manually, not automatically. But everything is more or less like the extension of my hand. Because it's years, I use the same camera and the same lens. I don't change the lens. I have a 28 millimeters. So when I want to raise my hand, for example, I believe you also, you don't say, okay, now I want to raise my hand. How shall I do? Okay, or I have to send the will, the information to the brain, who will send the impulse to the muscle, who will put it in the right direction, and I will raise my hand. And okay, no, you want to raise your hand, you do this like this. You don't know how you do it, but you do it because it's natural. So the same thing with the camera, you know, it becomes the extension of yourself. So this is the first photo I took. 1 second after, 1 second. This is why this is the same moment and not 1 second after, okay? 1 second after I took a second photo, it's not good, it does not work. Why? Because this guy put the money in his pocket. He saw that I took him in photo. First thing, he put the money in the... So it's not the same thing. It's totally different, not the same meaning. Oops, sorry. It's okay. And a master photography, which is not me, a master photography doesn't take the photo 1 second later, does not take the photo at the moment. He has the ability to anticipate the moment. He feels, he knows that something is going to occur, he prepares himself and tack. He's already ready before. In a way, he takes the pictures before the pictures, in somehow, in some way. So, this is to have and not to have. And like I said, the work of art is the bridge. So I go on. It is to make visible the invisible. Again, to make beauty visible to all. Now, symbols. General characteristics of the symbol is the same, like I said, as art. You can... next one? Thanks. This is a photo of the museum. The museum is this building. It's the Museum of the Mediterranean Cultures in in the city of Marseille in France, in the south of France. And here, what I like here is the bridge. And on this bridge, it is a bridge that people are taking and walking on the bridge to go into the museum, to get out of the museum. But you have a non-stop movement of people, like the Humanity One, which is taking this link, between the invisible and the visible, between the metaphysical realm and the material realms. So it's not something impossible. We can see that the bridge exists, and the bridge is full of movement. It's a bridge which allows access to higher levels of reality. Why? What does it mean, Maya, when we say we are evolving in the Maya, in the three-dimension realm? It doesn't mean that illusion, Maya is illusion, but it doesn't mean that things does not exist. I can touch this and I feel it and it exists. And my body exists. And when I do this, I don't know what suffers the more, the wall of my hand, but I feel it. But it is an illusion. In what way it is an illusion? Because it has a beginning and it has an end. It will vanish in a moment. My body will vanish in a moment. It is not permanent. It is not for always. So this is an illusion, the illusion of the permanence in the impermanence. And the symbolic language is exactly this, to make this bridge. A symbol is a bridge, just like that. How to manifest here in the impermanent this which is always permanent and then does not belong to this. It's a bridge between two different angles of the unity, of the reality one. So, in photography, a symbolic image is always an image which contains more than what we can see. It should be always an image which awake a question into the one who is looking at the image. And I think that we rejoin also here the real purpose of philosophy. Because philosophy is love of wisdom, like Yaron said. It awakes question. Where is the answer? We use the symbol to find the answer. You can pass the next photo now if you want. It's okay. Thank you. I will explain this. We can use the symbol, but the answer is not in the photo. The answer is not in the symbol. The symbol is only the bridge. The answer is in myself. I cannot see the answer here. What do you see here? I took this one in Czechia, Czech Republic. You can see two people in a bench, sitting in a bench, and they can see, they look here, you see another bench here, which is like the exact reflection of this one, but here it's empty. So you cannot see what there is on the other bench because it is empty. It seems empty. But there is something. It's called death, absence. Here in the first one you have presence, life. In the second one you have absence. They already are not here. They're looking in a way to their future. But this photo, when it works as a symbol, awake the question, what is there here? And if there is more in the photo, in the image, than what we can see, there will be a tension. If there is no more, there is no tension. If there is no tension, well, you will look at this, you'll say, okay, two people, a bench, okay, nice, I understand, and I go to the other one. No, it's just an invisible image. Now, if you look at something, I have a friend, more, I would say I had a friend, was a very, 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 very modern artist. He's still alive. It's just not so much my friend today, because he makes photographies of things like a black frame with a white pond, something like this. And one day he asked me what I think about the art, and I told him what I think. From this day we are not friends anymore. So when you have something that does not awake in yourself some deeper question, there is nothing more to see than what you really see. That's it. You see what there is. There is no more than what you see. So you don't understand. You understand everything, it's not good. You don't understand, it's not good. You need to look and say, okay, I understand, but I have the feeling that there is something more. And I don't know why. I don't know what. So I have to meditate, I have to check, I have to search, and I have to find the answer in myself. Because the answer is inside every one of us. You have the answer. We have the answer. It's inside us. And the philosophical process, through beauty also, the artistic process is the same, is to reveal the answer which is sleeping inside of us and we just don't know it. So this is why it is a path to wisdom, not just intellectual knowledge, but wisdom, how to live better, how to be alive. Now, I approach the... I have 2 minutes more, okay? I will take 3, sorry, 4 maybe, no more. So, photography as art and symbol. Now, something very important I want to say. The source of everything, the point from the one was born, Yaron said, the Manvantara, the cosmos. It is one dimension. One point is one dimension, one seed. The metaphysical world, the dimension of the archetypes is one dimension. Unity is one. Unity cannot be two. Two is duality. Unity is one dimension. Here we are in 3 dimensions. Space, time, materia. Okay, we are in the world with 3 dimensions. Space, time, depth. Or horizontal axis, vertical axis, and depth. An image, symbol, has 2 dimensions. 2 dimension is the natural link or bridge between 1 and 3. So it works naturally. Something in 2 dimension will naturally make the link and the bridge between 1 and 3. This is why symbols and image are working so well as symbol. It's a gate, it's a passage. In many ancient traditions, they called the image the horizon. You know the horizon? When you look, it's the moment where you have the earth, which ends, and you have the sky, who begins. So the sky is the archetypal realm, 1 dimension. The earth is 3 dimension, but the horizon is a fine line, and it's always here, 2 dimension. It's 1 line. And in the temple, for example, the horizon is always the Sancta Sanctorum, the horizon is the Lingam, the horizon is the center, the horizon is this point in the temple or in ourselves, at this point in our consciousness, where there is this bridge, this horizon. Something we can see, for example, in ancient Egyptian temple, in architecture. When you enter the temple, the front of the Egyptian temple is huge. It's a big, big, big door. And when you enter more and more in the temple until the naos, the end of the temple, the ground is going up. Slowly, slowly, slowly up. And the roof is going down. And at the end, you are in a small room where the sky and the earth are joining themselves in the horizon. This is why the naos is the horizon, and it is the place of the God. This is the place of the meaning. This is the place of the unity. This is the place where we discover ourselves. And I'm just saying that to discover ourselves is something which everyone, every human being can do. Because it is not the symbolic consciousness, or the consciousness of symbol, is not something which can be acquired with knowledge. It is something permanent in the consciousness of the human being. The symbolic consciousness is a constituent of the human being. I believe that it is this, maybe more than anything else, that makes the difference between us and animals. We can work with symbols. We can be living symbols. And through the bridge, if we build this bridge inside our heart, inside ourselves, we can have the foot on the ground and the consciousness in the sky. And we can become one. And when every one of us become one, it's so simple. Life becomes so simple. Because you don't have something, the complexity, like my physical body is tired, I want to go to sleep because I wanted the plane last night and I didn't sleep. And I want to eat because my prana needs energy. But I want to feel something with more linga and sentiments. And I need to understand what I will say in the lecture today. And you cannot do at the same time go to sleep and eat and learn and teach. And it's not possible. You have to choose. But when you become one unity, all your needs, all your personality serve one master, the same master, the individuality, the heart, the link between the heart and the head. And you become one, and you become one with your svadharma, and you become one with life. And you awake to what it means to be a human being. And this, every one of us can do it. Dhanyavad.